Hi, good evening. So this video is going to be about me and my situation. Hopefully you guys can learn a few things from what I'm about to say. It's going to be about this house, okay? There's a reason why God put me back in here. And to be honest, he had to make me stay in here. Like, there's our free will and then there's God's will. So it didn't matter what I tried to do. I was not finna get up out of here until it was time to get out of here. And I'm probably not finna be out of here no time soon. And I found out a bunch of things about this house and my bloodline and this situation this month mostly. In the month of April, I got a whole lot of revelation and I was processing a lot of what I found out. I remember certain things from when I was a child, and God was re-showing me some of these things as to being, the reason why certain things was happening to me, my family, everything. And I'm telling you now, like, I was looking at the situation and I was looking at everything that I have had to do, and I know for sure that there is nobody that I know personally within my family, even the ones that have passed on that I knew before, none of them would have done this. Even my great grandmother, I don't believe she would have done this. And she was really, really sweet and she was hardworking, but there's certain things that had happened to her where she probably couldn't do it, and so God picked me to do all of this. God picked me to bear the weight of it all, and it's been a lot to process. Almost like processing when I first found out that witchcraft exists and I first found out that the spiritual realm exists. Almost like that, but not quite. Processing witchcraft and processing the spiritual realm is different, versus it's more when it comes down to that. But when it comes down to this house, there were certain spirits, ancient spirits too. I'm telling you guys, they look like they were back from the 1600s or something like that. They were so old and they looked like artifacts. They didn't look like demons. They looked like humans, and they looked like artifacts. They looked like if I blew on them, that dust and dirt would fly off of them. That's how old these spirits were, and it's no telling, and there's no telling how long they've been going through my bloodline, and that is the reason why a lot of things happen to me. And like I was telling you all, there are bloodline issues. A lot of times you don't even have to be in sin like that for certain stuff and certain curses to get on you. And if you got people doing spell work on you too, it's bound to create a recipe for disaster. But going through spell work and going through what I am going through right now is it's not the same type of stuff. The spell work thing was like 1,000 times worse than what I have to face today. And this is what the enemy was trying to stop me from doing, because there is something about the home and the house. Everything is spiritual. So there's something about the home and the house that you grow up in. It has a lot to do with how you are whenever you leave the nest, or if you get a chance to leave the nest. It's certain things that you have to do really before you leave, and that's a whole nother video. Like, that's a whole nother story. And I had to stop looking at this situation as bondage and looking at it as an opportunity, because it is huge actually. And they have been attacking me ever since I started removing them from the home. Like, God had me to clean certain stuff in the home. Like, guys, when I first got here, it was a lot of stuff in here. Like, I would say it was a lot of darkness, a lot of stuff. And when he put me back in here, he used me to clean a lot of it up. And I cleaned a lot more of it up this year. When he showed me that dream about McDonald's and the old demons and the artifacts, the artifact looking demons, he was showing me the representation of this house. McDonald's represents kids, home, family, preparation, a lot of things. And he also showed me the witchcraft that was surrounding the house. And he showed me, after this was after I came out of the witchcraft part of that building, which was McDonald's. He showed me leading children and women out of that into the promised land. He showed me this. And that's what he's been using. He's going to use me for, and that's what he's been using me for, to help children. And I mostly seen children that I was helping. A lot of children, and there was women and, you know, other people there. But he showed me leading them into beauty. It was a beautiful building. After we left out of the cursed building, he showed me the beautiful building. And like I said, these demons have been around. I said 1700s at first, but then I had to go back another century, because I'm like, they look like they from the 1600s. I even looked up 1600s attire online, and it is similar to what I saw. So the first thought that came to my head was that. I couldn't even say nothing about this year. They look nowhere near the 1900s, nowhere near the 1800s. 1600s is as far back as my mind can process and go when it comes down to this. And imagine how long, like, my people have been fighting that, okay? And I have been processing that. It's a lot to process for me. But God also showed me where a lot of them were. Some of them was in the walls. Some of them was under the house. I remember seeing the black dots going across the floor in the house. And yes, you know, Miss Williams is removing all of this, by the way. So if you need any help with anything like this, email me. My email will be in the description box of this video. In another dream this year, God showed me me being in the house, and he showed me go out the back door with a man, and the man was told by somebody to cut those weeds down. So that let me know that they were working on removing everything whenever I saw that. But then God showed me under the house as I was standing in the backyard, and the backyard under the house was full of darkness. All I seen was like dark spots everywhere. I knew what it represented. It represented demonic energy, and the negative, the witchcraft that had been planted here years ago, and it just hopped from house to house. A lot of times, if you don't take care of that stuff at a previous home, it'll follow you to another house, and it'll they will plant themselves wherever you are. It will follow you, and that's what was following me my whole life. And so I'm just thinking about how much God has protected me from a lot of it. Regardless of what had happened to me, he still pulled me out. But as I was looking under the house in this dream, and I'm seeing the darkness that was under there, and so I knew right then, I'm like, wow, okay, thank you, Jesus, because that could have got me and my children. He showed me a blanket under there too. He showed me a comforter. There is a blue comforter up under there as well, in the midst of all of that stuff. So he showed me my protection under the house. I'm protected, and my children are protected from all of these things. Like I said, I'm processing the fact that God has been talking to me this whole time. He has been guiding me this whole time, even with everything that has been that he had me doing here. Like, he's still been here, and I still have been able to do what I've been able to do, which is wild to me, with everything that I saw in here, with the witchcraft, with everything. And what I was feeling was valid. With me wanting to leave and not be here, what I was feeling was valid, because I'm sensitive in the spirit. I can feel when something isn't right. I can feel when something is off. And so me wanting to run from here all of these years was completely valid, but I couldn't do that this time. Like, I had to stay so that I could remove these things from way back before my great grandmother, way back before my grandmother, way back before my grandfather, the people that I actually met, got a chance to meet. And God chose me to do this stuff. And like I said, God, I told God I don't see nobody that could have done it. And God told me, he said, that's why we chose you. He said, that's why we chose you. And I'm like, wow, okay. Because honestly, I don't have no other sister and brother that's like helping to do any of this. It's me. So he literally chose me to do all of these things. And like I said, if you are removing anything, they do fight back. They do fight back, and they do attack you when you are trying to get rid of them. So I've been battling with that too, with them trying to get to me to stop it, to stop the process, but it's not gonna work. I've come too far, and I've come a mighty long way, and there's no reason to stop. I'm tired, but like I told Miss Williams, I'm gonna keep going though. I'm gonna keep going. And this is another thing, like if you have started up with all of your deliverance and you have started with Miss Williams and she say you need more work, please believe that she's not lying. She's not lying. She see it. And for a lot of us, we just need more work. It is what it is. And then this work is a part of the kingdom of God anyway. So you're not gonna be sorry that you did it. You're gonna be happy that you did it, and you're gonna be happy that you kept going. Just like me getting through this, when I get through this, at first I was saying I hope I get through this, but when I get through this, I know I'm gonna be happy that I kept going and I got this far, because I don't think nobody else has gotten to this point to do this. So it's me. Now, I don't know what the steps may be after this, after the fact, after everything is cleared, but I got an idea of what it may be. But for this stuff to have followed, and I can see it. I can see it, y'all. I can see it throughout my grandparents. I can see, okay, wow, that did follow them from home to home. And I can see how it affected me and my brothers and sister and my mom. And I can see how much it did, how much damage that it did throughout the years and throughout the bloodline. And I knew as a child that something wasn't right. So I've gotten so much confirmation just from finding this out like that. And I didn't think at all that I would be still in here. I every little thing that happened, I was trying to get out of here. I kid you not. Every little piece of warfare, I was like, "Yep, God, it's time for me to go. It's time to go. Like, come on now, don't let me stay here. You see this, don't you, Lord? It's time for me to get up out of here. Why y'all keep making me stay in there?" Every little thing that happened. And to be honest with y'all, that's what had happened to my car, because one day I was told, this was 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. One day I was driving and God told me to go home. I was still in a certain mind space, and home would be here. So this is the last place I wanted to be, especially when I was feeling like I was feeling. I was like, I don't want to go home, and I didn't. It was too much going on in here. It was too much. But he told me to go home, right? So I didn't, and I kept driving, and that's how I got. That's when my car got hit by another car, by other pieces of warfare. So regardless of what you don't want to do, it's best to be obedient, because he did tell me to go home, and I didn't want to. Like I said, I didn't want to come back here. I didn't want to do any of this, but God had to make me do it. He had to force me to do this. It's our free will, and then there's God's will. And then I asked him one day, what is all this according to? He said it's according to his will. His will, period. So, yes, looking at my people, I can see what happened. I know, I see what happened now, and like I said, I'm processing everything that I have been seeing, and I can see God told me he told me in January, I think it was like towards the end of January, he told me it's about to get real. He said it's about to get real. And I chuckled a little bit because I talk like that. I say it's about to get real. It's about to get, I talk just like that. So I chuckled just a little bit, but then I was like, that could mean anything. I like, hold up. That could mean anything. Like, what you mean by that? And it did. It got real. It's been real. It's been real over here. The warfare turned up a whole bunch. Went through Job season. Had to do a lot. And I'm telling God, like, man, I got so many testimonies. Is this normal? Is this normal to have this many testimonies? But, you know, hopefully I get a chance to give you guys fuller access to those testimonies. You know, a testimony is, it means that you made it out of something. Like, you almost this or you almost that. But God came in and saved your life, or he made sure that you didn't go off into a certain situation. You know, testimonies are an indicator that you were saved or that you were helped in some supernatural way or some shape, form, or fashion. And I'm constantly seeing God do that in my life. And this is why I don't say certain stuff, because I see him do so much stuff. I see him do so many things. Looking at my situation with the house and everything like that, this is how I know certain people, you can get out of your situation. And God put me back here and had me do everything from complete scratch and still help guide me through all of it. He can do the same thing for you. Your environment matters. It matters a lot. It matters how you think, how you talk. It matters what you do. It really does matter. But it takes you to pull. You're going to have to pull strength and get wisdom and be 10 toes down for the Lord. And then he will help you through all of this. And then you can get put in a new environment. He'll even change up the environment in the bad environment. Let's say the environment that I'm in right now, I told you, is different. It's not as bad as it was at first. It's nowhere near like it was at first. So he can change the very environment that was toxic at first. And this is the same God that I have seen speed up time. I've seen God speed up time. I've seen him slow time down. I have seen him with my eyes stop time for a second or two. I've seen him with my own eyes. Okay, this is the same God. So if he can do that, and he can do this for me, he can do it for you. He can do the same thing for you and your family. And I'm not even done. I told you guys that it's a bunch of work that I was still doing and that I have to do. And it's more things that have to be cleaned up over here. And the things that I find out a lot of times is kind of hard to digest, because now you looking at the past and you're like, whoa, that was that. That was that. This was this. Wow. So that's where I am. I remember a picture of me whenever I grew up. We stayed in a house before this one. This house was built. There was another house that was here that burned down, and we had one built on top of this one. But there was another house that we stayed in across town. That was the first house that I remember growing up in. We used to call it the greenhouse, and because it was green. And so I seen a picture of me standing close to that house when I looked like I was around 4 years old. And I had a plaque sticking up right here. I had a plaque sticking up that way. And my mama said that I had just woken up in that in that picture. But we had a shed that was in the back of that house. And I had reoccurring nightmares at that age about that shed. So I wouldn't be surprised if whatever went on in that shed followed me and my grandmother and grandfather into the house that burned down. Then we got this one built here, and then this one, I wouldn't be surprised if those are the same spirits from that shed that I kept having reoccurring nightmares about. And I wasn't before, probably about 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. But I still remember pieces of those reoccurring dreams. They were really, really vivid, and they were dark, and they were scary at that age to have and see. But it was something that went on, and it was a sister on here that mentioned that shed. That is crazy. Somebody on here mentioned a shed. I don't know if that was my shed they saw from whenever I was coming up, or if that was somebody else. But it was a shed for sure. And then we moved from there into the house that we call the old house now, and that's the one that burned down. And so we moved into this house after it was rebuilt. And yeah, I feel like all of that stuff followed us from there to it'll keep following you until you take care of it in most cases. It's certain things that you have to do. Like, it'll follow you from house to house to house, and it'll bury itself in that soil under the house, and it'll start messing with the structure of your home and messing with you. And those are the things that I had to get removed from this house from years ago. And ever since Miss Williams started working on it, ever since the first day when she started, where I can tell the difference already. There's a huge difference already. But like I said, they like to fight. They like to fight you and fight you back to try to get you to not. But it's too late. Only thing now I feel like is that I have to stay strong throughout the attacks, because this is a totally different thing that I'm used to. This is a whole nother battle. But I'm gonna tell you this, I will say God has been fighting. I haven't really had to do that much if I really look at it, because God has been doing it. God has been fighting. I just do my little parts and I go on. I just have to keep a level head while doing the little bit that I am told to do. But yeah, ancient spirits from way back in the day. Way back. Way back. And I'm telling you, it looked like they were tall. They were in a church when I first seen them. They were in a church, and I grew up in a church. The church that I seen them in is one of the churches that I grew up in. Like, and they were in the choir. They were in the choir stand at first. I sung in the choir. And they were tall. They looked like slaves. But they looked like artifacts. They looked like they had been dug up out of the ground. They looked dirty. So that ties to me to what God showed me was underneath the house. And like I said, he showed me a blanket under there. Y'all, I'm blown away. I really am. I'm blown away. And I'm still processing. So, and I'm the one that's doing it. It's crazy. My grandmother, when I think about my family, y'all, none of them would have done this. Nope. And then when I try to talk to some of them about certain stuff, I remember in the past, they wouldn't have done this. They wouldn't have done this at all. And I remember it getting so tough where I was kind of like, God, why you just wipe out my bloodline then? You know? Why you just do that? But then, no. Because when I think about my dad's side, wow, they would be messed up to wipe the complete bloodline out. Out of my dad and my mom's side, both are powerful sides. Like, they was doing what they was doing, but both sides are very powerful bloodlines. And then they made me. So, nah, that wouldn't make sense. Somebody gotta do it. But yes, those spirits were completely old, ancient. Okay. I hope this video helps somebody, and give you any type of revelation. Really, that's really what I want to do, is give some revelation as to what could be going on with a lot of you all. See, I had the opportunity to come back to my roots. I don't think everybody have the opportunity to come back to their roots, so they may have to do it another route. But if you do have the opportunity to come back to the root of the issue, then God bless you. God bless you. And God is with you. He's with you. I promise you that. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.